I usually think of it as the introvert's plight. Because it's when you're rethinking through past arguments, what all the best responses now that it's completely over. I mean, 10 years later.
I feel like a lot of people do that. Like rethink arguments and go, shit, I would have been way better if I'd have just said this.
Yep.
Or I would have been less pissed off at myself if I had at least said
you know what the worst part is? If you are arguing with somebody who's being nasty to you and you think about a comeback later and you're like, oh, well, I would have said this and they would have been shocked. No, if some asshole had said that to you would have been shocked. But if you said it to them, they would have said something nastier and you still would have felt like a fucking fool. Because if you are arguing with somebody that
because they've been doing this way too long.
Like if you're arguing with somebody that's going to go below the belt, they're better than you at it. Like, they've had more practice, they care less about your feelings, and they will go straight for your balls, and they don't care, because they want to win. And that, like, every time I have this fantasy where I come up with the perfect comeback, I don't just shut them up, I, like, change them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You hit them so hard in the feels that they have a revelation.
Yeah, I'm like, well, if you ever thought of someone else's feeling, you wouldn't say something like that. And then they go, I never thought of it that way, Colin. Thank you. And I go, it's cool, man. Let's never fight again. And they say, I'm not going to fight with anyone.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I'm your number one fan.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
They're coming to get you, Barbara. They all flow down here.
What's blood for, if not for shedding?
Look at me, Damien. It's all for you.
Here's Johnny.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to John Hates Movies. This is the podcast where my friends keep me from stalking Ripley through the halls of the Nostromo and instead force me to watch movies. This week we have with us Eric the Wolfman Largent.
Tally ho.
We have James the Mummy Bearup.
It's not nice to make people watch Leprechaun.
We have Chris the Potato from the Black Lagoon Arsenault.
I'm okay with this.
And Colin Count Chocula McMillan.
James took mine.
Colin, why do they call you Count Chocula?
Because I'm so delicious.
Shouldn't you be Lucky, the Lucky Charm?
Is that
Mr. McMillan?
Is that a reference to my heritage?
Hmm?
Oh,
yeah, I'm being subtle
okay.
here. But yeah.
Oh, I see. Is that reference to my 1/8 Irish blood?
I'm being relevant to the movie we
yes.
watched.
Well,
and subvertly racist.
Well, this movie did appeal to me on a basic racism level.
He's like, why are they hating on my people?
I know. I'm on this.
Also, we're not all
his
that
people
short.
the leprechauns? Is that?
Yes.
White on white racism is my favorite kind.
We don't want the Irish.
Okay, so once again, for those of you who are curious about what the movie was that we reviewed, the answer is The Leprechaun.
Otherwise known as How Horror Comedy is.
Okay, all right. We might as well address this.
Yeah,
right now.
Addressing this throughout the podcast this evening.
Oh, I'm sure we will. We will.
John,
let's give
you might as well just lay down behind the bus because we're about to back it over you.
Let's just go over this here. Leprechaun. Netflix gives it 2 stars. That's right, 2.
That's like
too
wow.
many.
Yeah, exactly.
Too many. Wait, this got more stars than. Wait, did Grabbers get less than that?
No, Grabbers got.
Grabbers got like 4 and.
Oh, all right.
3
I think it was like 3-7.
Yeah,
or
3-7.
like that.
The synopsis is a father and daughter's move to a new home is anything but lucky. Wow.
Oh my God.
When they find that a murderous 600-year-old leprechaun is living in their basement. Starring Warwick Davis, Jennifer Aniston, and Ken Oldant. Directed by Mark
Who was
Jones.
never seen on screen again.
Yep. I do have to give this movie a little bit cred because it does actually credit Warwick Davis.
Yes.
And there aren't too many movies.
They put him out in front of Leprechaun. It says Warwick Davis in Leprechaun.
Yes.
Or Warwick Davis is the Leprechaun.
Yeah.
Was this before or after Willow?
This was after.
After.
Yeah.
Well after.
Well, unfortunately.
Makes sense then.
Okay, so last week I might have said something in regards to this movie.
Words were said.
Mistakes were made.
I want to apologize. There is a distinct chance that I might have been thinking of some other movie almost completely and utterly entirely.
Yeah.
And what movie was
You
that?
know, that's the worst part. I'm not sure. But I know it wasn't this.
I feel like what happened in your mind is you had never seen Leprechaun before, but you figured that it's like an iconic horror franchise and has Warwick Davis in it. So you were like,
oh, no.
Leprechaun had to be pretty good. I'll just use that one. Like, you just kind of pulled Leprechaun out of your ass.
Actually, this is a case, I'm pretty sure that this is a case of over, like basically just too much going on. Because as I've said before, and I'm probably going to say again, I've seen just a billion upon billion of horror movies. And every once in a while, a certain title will get messed up in my head. For a very long time, I had completely erased Chucky 3 and was convinced that Bride of Chucky was actually Chucky 3. I had totally, completely forgotten about that.
Such a common mistake.
Well, the point I'm trying to make is that there are other Leprechaun entries into this particular franchise that actually do have some very funny bits to it. Leprechaun in the Hood is actually...
Yeah. Leprechaun in the Hood where he like takes big ass rips of weed with
It's actually kind of funny.
So let me see if I'm getting what you're saying correctly. You're saying that you only made an error because you are such an expert on the topic matter?
That is correct. That is correct.
You're so smart. You know so much that you are bound to make an error.
There's just, you see so many movies, and they all start to blend together,
Mm-hmm. Yep,
and occasionally you might
I can't wait till this one blends into the rest of them.
Okay. All right, look, I was way off. I totally forgot what this movie actually was. I just completely... So who's going to start us off and tell us why my assessment was perhaps not the greatest?
I can't go first, but I'm not going to go last either.
You are really hedging your language there.
Oh, I heard Chris.
I'll totally rock this. Like
all right.
Okay?
All right.
As it were. Okay, Leprechaun.
Here I am!
What I would like to point out first, throughout this movie, the entirety of the house is dirty fucking filthy. What is the first thing they are doing?
The blackmail.
Through the blackmail. Throughout the entire film, the house is just god-awful dirty, and yet they're already painting it. They're planning on living in this house, and yet there is more cobwebs in this house than there is decent writing in the script. I'm proud of that one, actually.
I am
good.
too.
That's good.
Now, the other thing is, through the first half of the film, it's an odd thing with the camera work. You have these constant shots that are like about the level of Warwick Davis's chest. And that's your... Well, no, seriously. Like in the first half of the film, like your clue that the leprechaun is about to appear, the shot suddenly goes at people's feet. People are walking. It keeps showing people walking, and suddenly the leprechaun appears. And even their introduction to the leprechaun, it's like chest down. And then he gets pulled over by the cop, and it pans over, and you can't see his face, as if you're not going to see the fucking leprechaun driving that car. It's like they want to surprise you. Oh, it's him driving this car.
That's true. They put him back in the shadow like 4 times. But
Yeah.
you've already seen him like 100 times.
I gotta be
And
honest with you guys, I barely remember that
And
part.
here's what's weird about that. They do that through the first like half or 2/3 of the film, and then they drop it. Instead, they have this really odd camera tilt. Like when she goes to visit the guy in the home.
I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, it was really weird, but they kept using it through the rest of the film. It's almost as if like they had like a steady cam that they could put low, and then they couldn't budget it for the last half of the film. So like, well, we'll just have you do a lean. That's scary, right? That's weird. It puts people off their mark.
Like the ball joint, King
broke.
broke.
The ball joint broke, and they didn't have the money to replace it.
That's a cool effect. Let's keep using that.
That's
as if that was on
it's like
purpose.
Sam Raimi.
You did kind of get the sense that this movie was actually shot in order.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, that aside, one of my biggest problems with characters, other than all of them, was the cop. The cop pulls him over, Leprechaun attacks his face, then the Leprechaun, with glee, grabs his gun. You're thinking, he's going to fucking shoot him, all right.
Yeah.
And then flips it behind his back. I'm like, okay, so the Leprechaun does or does not know what a gun is. Not positive. Doesn't matter.
He finds out later.
It doesn't matter. The cop's response to this is to run away into the woods.
Yep.
And then throw his one defensive tool, his nightstick, at not even the Leprechaun, but at the woods. As if that's going to scare him away.
Not only was that cop like the worst cop ever, but he was written as if the people who wrote this movie had never actually seen a police officer of any kind ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the police officer's behavior was so outrageously unusual for that kind of character. Like, I don't even know how else to say it. Like, he acted
It's
more
like they wanted him to be kind of a condescending dick, but he sounded like he didn't even believe it himself.
Yeah, well, I'm sure
Right.
that they cast like the director's brother to play the, 'cause they were just
Whoa, this isn't Sam Raimi.
Oh, okay. No, the Key Grip's brother.
Yeah, only good
The Key
directors
Grip's
do
brother.
that.
So that bothered me. The other funny thing is, not only does he throw away his one defensive weapon, but we obviously show later in the film that a nightstick is actually a good defensive weapon because the chick manages to like punch out one of the Leprechaun's eyes.
Yep.
That was one of the coolest scenes, though. He steals the dude's eye. I loved that. That I actually thought was really cool as hell.
Oh my god.
That was such a strange thing because it's like you get okay, so it's established through one of the worst devices of exposition, that being characters just saying what's going on in the movie, that basically he can't be killed.
Right.
Right.
And then it's like you have a couple different parts where it's like, well, what does he regenerate, or does he like, what's the deal? But apparently he can steal body parts and plug them in.
Right.
He's got like a plug and play face.
And when his body parts leave him, they just come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His hand.
Listening to you guys,
There's no real logic.
Listening to you guys talk about different scenes in this movie is like watching it for the first time all over again.
Well,
because
see,
I don't
Eric,
remember shit from this movie.
I soberly sat down and actually watched. And I'm not saying you didn't watch. I mean, I spent focus on it. Like I had no other distractions. When I decided to do something else, I actually paused it and walked away and came back so I could focus my fury at it.
I do remember pausing the movie to write down the shit that I wrote down here, but I don't remember any of the movie. And I just went back through and read some of the shit, and I don't remember writing most of it.
Nice.
I think this is going to be a good review.
All right, so we also...
So maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm right. Maybe this was the way.
No, you weren't. Don't even try.
No, you were
That
not.
bullshit.
You were not. Nope.
Bad movies can make good reviews.
You were right, John.
The other thing is we established that nobody in this film is capable of fighting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unless apparently they're stuck in place with a bum leg due to a bear trap, they can fend off a leprechaun.
Yep, makes sense.
That also notes.
As much sense as anything else in this stupid movie.
The guy says, of course he's dead. I put 6 rounds in it. What he actually did was put 1 round in it and 5 into a bush.
Not only that, he says, of course it's dead after they've already established that it is not where it was when it fell down.
Yeah.
Like, it's clearly moved, idiot.
And
that bush wasn't that big.
My last thought for this movie is, the entire time, she had the keys to the Jeep.
Yeah.
And yet, they stayed at the house. They could have ran off at any point. She leaves to get information from the dude, and apparently, being brand new into this town and only ever seeing this house in this town, she knows exactly where the old folks' home is. And right, and they stay at the house when, quite honestly, the only one that's actually a direct threat or indirect threat from the Leprechaun is realistically the big guy, because he has the coin in his stomach. So why does the Leprechaun even bother following her? I mean, I'm sure he probably, with his mystic powers, knows that she's off to find some sort of explanation of, how to kill him. But the Leprechaun doesn't actually kill the one dude that can tell her. He, throws him down an elevator shaft?
He followed her
he
because of
handles
those wicked-ass shorts she was wearing.
I do love how they keep distracting with shoes, though. That was priceless.
Yep.
But I think I'm done with my thoughts on the film itself, or tearing it apart, as it were. I can't say that I enjoyed this film. In fact, when Eric picked it, because I had actually watched it a couple months ago, I had to force myself to sit down and watch it, which is why I watch it with such intensity that I could,
pick it apart,
burn it
You
with
could
a
burn a
vengeance.
hole through time.
I'm glad you didn't
and
say.
make this movie never happen.
I'm glad you didn't say I had to force myself not to kill Eric.
No. At this point, the only film of all of the choices that we've done, the only film that has bothered me to want, and I know it's not saying I do, but want to hate anyone for suggesting it, is Good Burger. The unreleased episode.
Yep, the legendary Good Burger episode, man.
I'm just glad I didn't say Leprechaun, and all of a sudden Chris gives me this glare, and his hands shoot up and reach for my throat.
Fuck you! I mean, pizza. You.
Somebody else is going to have to go because I still don't remember much of this movie yet.
He's still trying to
I'm
translate.
still trying to piece this all together.
I'll go. I have a lot of notes, so John, get your editing button ready. Alrighty. So my thoughts to sum up, just as an intro, my thoughts do not differ that much from Christopher's. Here we go, note by note, through the movie, which I also watched with my rapt attention and sadly was sober. Leprechaun. Well, there he is. No mystery here. We discussed it when we watched Grabbers, that they don't show the monster for 25 minutes. And then this one, I sit right down, and the first thing you fucking see is the Leprechaun going, try as they may, try as they might. He who steals me gold won't live through the night.
Now that accent is actually much better than it was in the movie. You're
Yeah.
giving it way
yeah.
too much credit.
Yeah, John.
Poor
Warwick
Warwick.
Davis has paid his dues. He deserves to have a role like this, right?
No. This is part of the dues that he paid. This is part of the dues that he paid.
Yeah.
So next thing I put is, can't tell if Irish people in America or an American limo driver in Ireland.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that either. The beginning of the film, I wasn't sure where the fuck they were.
They didn't have that little date line at the bottom.
Yeah, they weren't this
Nope,
year at
nope,
Blasville,
there's no-
USA.
No, there's no context to that first scene whatsoever. Just Maggie, we're rich or something.
Maggie, we're Irish.
I spent that
what are you talking
I spent
about?
that whole scene trying to remember how the fuck did it get to America?
Yeah,
and it was
Yeah,
there
that's
the
what I'm saying,
whole time.
I found a leprechaun's gold. He was 600 years ago. He was like, no one will ever find me gold in America.
Sucks to be him.
Do you guys? Okay, I'm sorry. I hate to say that I know how this went down. The farmer dude, went to Ireland for his mother's funeral.
Oh, that's right.
That's when he caught the leprechaun and sent the gold back, and the leprechaun hitched a ride in his suitcase.
That explains the suitcase. Now, John, explain why you know that. Was it in the film?
It is, actually.
It is.
Now that you mention it. Speaking of which, my next note was, never trust a singing suitcase. Come on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. A kid's not going to be in a suitcase.
Yeah,
The box, I understand, but a suitcase?
You were lured there by a singing piece of luggage that's clearly too small for any human being that could enunciate language. Something is fucked up here, and you should run
It had
away.
a child in it. A very small child.
Yeah, it had a child in it. That's when you set it on fire.
Right. Next up, I feel like Warwick Davis is doing a really good job, but I feel kind of bad for him.
Dude, I did too.
Yeah.
Because you gotta recognize that for this horrible dog of a script, this awful, awful movie, he was really trying,
Yeah.
He was leprechauning as hard as he possibly could. My next note was, I am angry at John.
Thanks for not saying Eric.
Well, I forgot it was you because John talked such mad shit about it. This is apparently the
superior
hallmark
movie
of good
to
horror
Grabbers.
comedy. Yeah, this is apparently better than Grabbers.
That's
no, not at all.
Guys, I was totally being sarcastic.
Yo,
I didn't pick up on that.
Let me guess. Your opinion was shitty on purpose, right? It was bad on purpose.
John's not a hipster, guys.
Yeah, right. No. Okay. I feel like the producers got high and watched the Lucky Charms commercial. Then they just greenlit the whole thing and left Mark Jones holding the bag. Pretty shameless extended shot showing off Jennifer Aniston's legs. Got my attention, though.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time believing this dad-daughter relationship. Is this a cover-up? Also, Dad looks like the leader of the Cobra Kai.
Oh, the relevance.
Now listen, Leprechaun, sweep the leg.
And, he'd be pretty good at sweeping the leg down at that level. This Leprechaun is awfully upfront. He's like, I'm going to kill you because I want the gold and I'm going to kill people the whole time. I'll poke your eyes out. Like, he just, speaks what he's going to do
I'm
all
a
the time.
Leprechaun,
he's a man of his
There's
word.
no nuance. Right, right.
Oh,
yeah,
my job is
I
making
love
shoes.
I love shoes, and I polish them and make them more here. Like, here's me weakness. Let's see. I don't think Leprechaun is Irish. I think he's pretending as a joke.
It's actually a hobgoblin. This is
That would make
completely
more
bullshit.
sense,
From Jersey.
'cause why the hell is this Leprechaun so evil?
Oh,
Yeah,
Leprechaun
well, because
thing.
I sold me soul to get me gold, or whatever he says in the beginning. Some weird thing. My next note was just ... Then, this is a stupid movie. So, Ozzy went from being an embellisher to being Lenny from Of Mice and Men. At first, he's just making up stories. He's just a liar. And then he's all, tell me about the rabbits, Alex. Let's see. It sounds hurt. Have you ever heard a cat? This movie. Then I put possibly bad on purpose, reinforcing that bad on purpose equals bad.
Yeah.
Drinking game idea. Drink when the leprechaun says leprechaun.
You'd be dead.
Yes,
The leprechaun
then
would
go to
kill
the
you.
hospital.
No,
so
you
you
wouldn't
would
be
be a
dead.
victim of the leprechaun.
No, you wouldn't be dead. I was playing that drinking game while we were
Leprechaun.
I'm actually skipping a lot of my notes because there's so many. I think that I just wanted to write things down instead of watch the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Did he seriously just eat Lucky Charms?
Yes. Yes, he did.
This is just really terrible. Is Alex wearing the pump? I can't believe I have to endure another 40 minutes of this. No, seriously, he was wearing the pump sneakers, and Jennifer Aniston was wearing LA
Yeah,
gear.
he was wearing
And
LA
I was
gear.
like,
Yep.
it was very.
They had a close up
definitely
of her
really
shoes.
went. Oh yeah, several. They went hard on the shoes, and the product placement is all on the shoes and soda pop. Like there's conspicuous cans of soda pop everywhere in this movie. Let's see. I can't believe I have to endure another 40 minutes of this. It's just amazing that Aniston has such a great career after this.
Yeah.
Just give him the damn gold.
Yep.
Swoosh transition. Oh yeah, because towards in the second half of the movie, there's this weird Star Wars
Yes,
transition.
there is. I know.
screen wipe.
Never used.
No, it's where it
was
comes into the center.
Oh, okay.
And yes,
It's like a fold wipe or something. I don't know. It never used before, never used again in the movie at all. There's a great deal of fast motion in this movie.
yes.
Oh yeah.
Well, if they ran Warwick Davis at his normal speed, it would have been 45 minutes longer.
Yeah,
Oh my god, that
fast
would have been
guy,
like a
unfortunately.
Family Guy sketch.
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah, because it would have just gone on forever.
And had been not funny.
Yep.
Right.
Oh. In the old folks' home, go down the stairs. They're not wheelchair accessible. Duh.
Yeah.
Of course, the kid's gonna get him. It's 1993.
Yeah.
Right.
Apparently, I had a Parappa the Rapper moment because I put, "You got to do what? I gotta believe."
Yep.
I did in very classic old effects style that he melted like a gremlin.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not a current bit of tech, but it actually is kind of cool.
Oh, it looks. I mean, I wish that they would still kind of do that shit in concert with CGI. Like actually have some melting puppets and shit, because you really can't fake
haven't
that.
had a good melting puppet in decades.
Yeah. It's fucking awesome.
We should melt
It
a
was.
puppet in this movie's honor.
They kind of did that. Did anybody watch the new Punisher movie with Thomas Jane?
No, wait, Tom Jane? Yeah.
Yeah, so, it's not really new. But there's a part where he throws a pot of boiling water on a guy's face, and it looks pretty bad.
Punisher's not
so
a bad
Leprechaun.
movie, but they just didn't
say, when's John going to figure out we've hijacked?
This has now become good parts
I know,
of bad
I know we
movies.
don't want to talk about this. I know we really
yes,
don't.
Can we do anything else? I only had a couple more. Do not put gasoline in a well, please. And then they actually saw fit to leave it open for a sequel.
Yes.
Right.
And my final note, my synopsis is terrible, awful, one of my least favorites of all time, worse than Sharknado, 0 out of 10, wouldn't even watch, ironically.
Yep.
This was a god-awful, terrible, shit-ass movie, and anybody who says that they like it just does not remember that they hated it. It's terrible. They're just confusing it with an amalgamation of other movies from this era that were actually kind of cool. But this was, seriously, of everything we've watched, my least favorite so far by a long shot. I'd rather watch The Master again, and, for funsies, And that movie made me super uncomfortable. But Leprechaun can eat a dick. This, I kind of want to watch the sequels for some reason because I hate myself sometimes and just don't feel like I deserve good things.
I'm not going to lie. I had that inkling to watch the sequels to see if they got any better.
Yeah, because
where the hell did they go?
I mean,
John says they get better.
Okay. I know that you guys
his
don't
opinion
trust me.
is trustworthy.
And you never will trust me ever again. Apparently, this movie burned you guys so bad.
Well, you gave
really
it some
bad,
high
dog.
praise, sir.
Yeah, I know, because I was I totally was thinking of other stuff.
Because you were mad because you didn't like grabbers and were wrong.
So
Doesn't even acknowledge it.
Well, okay, but if I remember, okay, I'm gonna.
John's reeling. John's like a prize fighter that's got punched in the head too many times. John's just swaying on his feet, and there's a sign over his head that says "Finish him."
Okay, so obviously, I was way off. I had totally misremembered this movie. And I seem to recall that in the later Leprechauns, they basically do the whole Chucky thing where they just throw the whole, true horror element out the window and become, really fucking hilarious. Which the later Chuckies are actually pretty funny. Bride of Chucky and Son of Chucky. James, have you seen Leprechaun in the Hood and some of the other Leprechauns?
No, actually, I stayed away from all the Leprechauns because they all looked fucking awful.
I'm okay. Maybe I'm wrong.
Choice.
Maybe I'm thinking of something. Maybe I'm thinking of something completely different.
Okay, I'm going to take that as saying something impressive, considering James' taste.
Yeah,
that he consciously avoided these movies, this entire franchise, with James' taste.
All right, who's next?
All right, I suppose now is as good a time as any for me to go. So if you haven't seen it, now would maybe be a good time to go to the John Hates Movies Facebook page and look at the and have a look at the picture that we posted of my notes. Because there are 4 pages, and the top of the first page is just me drawing pictures of Irish stereotype stuff like Lucky Charms and 4-leaf clovers.
And potatoes?
And no potatoes. And now I'm going to try to read these notes. I drew the above pictures an hour ago when I thought I would be starting the movie. Instead, I've been distracted by pint-sized gin and tonics and baseball. All right, now, I know we use, the term pint size to be small, but no, these are pint glass sized gin and tonics.
tumbler glasses.
Oh god. Okay, big problem number 1. I haven't even started the movie yet, and I'm almost out of LaCroix for my gin and tonic mixes.
That is a big problem.
The Leprechaun has red pants. Why?
That's a good point. I never thought about that. There's no truth in this art.
Next, art is up to interpretation.
Next one, LOL, Warwick Davis in ... A completely humiliating and patronizing role.
Oh, true.
And apparently I was writing these notes to myself like I was texting a teenage girl with LOLs at the beginning of them, and like, I wrote with my hand in a pencil. I wrote LOL before.
No, I have that on mine too. That's so funny that you say that. I write lol on my notes.
So you guys are both channeling like 13-year-old girls?
Yeah, apparently we were 13-year-old girls texting each other notes about this movie.
Yeah.
You were
Except about halfway
texting.
through this movie, I sent Colin a dick pic, and things went south.
And then he was like, "Oops, didn't mean to send that, but what did you think?"
Do you think the angle's all wrong or what?
Okay,
Am I small?
Next note: when the guy is drinking his Jameson at the very beginning. One time, I snuck a bottle of Jameson onto a plane and drank it. That's the truth. Next note: this movie's fucking great. This is like 5 minutes into the movie.
I was gonna say it must have been early.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next note: this is like Podception. James just posted a synopsis of a podcast from months ago that simply states, "quote Eric pounds beers."
Yep.
That's not the movie.
James is lucky I wasn't pounding gin and tonics like tonight.
You poor man.
Next note: this movie is really fucking awesome. Next note: LOL, that guy stroked out. So it's when the guy's at the top of the stairs and he strokes out.
This reminds me of the time you were rooting for the Cobra Kai.
This is unintentional. Apparently, from here on out, I'm gonna refer to Jennifer Aniston as Jenny A. And it looks like most of these notes are all about Jennifer Aniston.
She was pretty cute she's pretty cute in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but age inappropriate for what I think she was trying to play.
That's what I was saying about the dad-daughter thing. Like, she looked like... Because she looked like she was about 25.
Yeah.
And
she's one
he
of
looked
those
like he could be
people,
40.
Like, yeah, she doesn't really age.
That's what I'm
like
saying.
a normal
she still
person.
looks
so
amazing.
I mean, she still looks exactly the same, like a little younger, but not like obviously so.
Right.
So it's just like it's kind of weird. She was one of those people that was like 35 years old the minute she turned 18, and then never aged.
Did no one else catch what John said?
No.
I did.
Okay.
She's the reincarnation of Lady Bathory.
Well, okay, but my next note has to do with the aforementioned Jenny A, and why she probably looks better now is because, next note, this is pre-nose job Jenny A.
I had no idea.
This is her original nose, and
she didn't need a nose job.
She got one though, and it's quite a bit different.
Well, that's silly.
Okay, but next note. Okay, previous jokes aside, Jenny A is fucking beautiful. I actually have that written down. Like I knew my jokes before were bad and they were taking a bad turn. But okay, next note. Whoa. All it takes is an operation to make this idiot smart? Amazing.
Oh my god.
Next note is about that painter. This guy is like Stamos Light.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, he is.
Diet Stamos.
Wow, I thought actually that he was like Kevin Bacon's long lost twin.
He did have a little bit of bacon about him.
Maybe he was like some sort of failed genetic experiment.
Maybe he's like Kevin Stamos.
No, I think he's got more of a Stamos to him.
Or maybe he's John Bacon.
Yeah.
John Bacon.
All right, see, now the way the room is turned, I'm apprehensive about making this next joke again. This is
Hey,
like
man.
a maybe
Dude,
gets cut.
no.
Dive right in.
All right,
Yeah.
next joke. Hey, have you ever used a fruit roll-up as a condom? It's not as cool as you'd think.
What? I'm going to need a little context here.
Yeah. I'm not judging you. I'm just lost with that one. I'm like,
Context is I was drunk and I think I just started writing down shit.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
this is
Incidentally, no, I have not.
But Colin has
pretty
used
creative, though.
the thin plastic that wraps it around so it doesn't stick to it. You know?
Sorry about that, guys. Next joke. That Lucky Charms joke was good.
Like I said,
Your
horror
review
comedy
is so
done right.
meta.
Okay, barely halfway through the movie. This is taking way too long. Next note, feminists beware. There is some serious Jenny A. domestic housewife jokes in the movie. she's like, "Oh, you see, I'm good at sweeping and cooking, and I can do
how this thing works?"
Yeah.
That was weird.
It was weird.
Yeah,
or that they were concerned about cleaning up a place that was a fucking mess.
She was like all like strong-willed, hard-headed liberal woman in the beginning, but then the painter was hot enough to make her want to clean the kitchen.
Yes, that's really kind of how it seemed.
Oh shit! I didn't even. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Holy fuck!
No, I just like the way he puts it. He was hot enough to make her clean the kitchen.
That's how it came across.
Hey guys,
in the movie.
I didn't just paint your house. I fixed your dishwasher.
Look,
oh, James!
Yikes!
Yeah, now that's a sexist joke.
Yeah, but
look,
that's
even drunk Eric could tell that there was like some sexism going on.
Yeah.
That's a little too overt.
Okay. Oh my God! 30 minutes left. This is a genuinely terrible movie.
So this movie is fucking awesome too. This
So
movie
not
is
only
genuinely
was
terrible.
so not only was Eric bombed, but he was not bombed enough to know that the. Never mind, I lost the joke.
Finish it out.
I was just
You can do it.
He not
I
only
believe
was
in
he
you.
bombed, but he could not be bombed enough to not know that this movie. Fuck no, it's too many double negatives.
He could
Movie
not
sucks. Go
not
on.
Be undrunk
Go.
enough to not understand the lack of quality in this movie. Not.
Stop making me a mem.
Oh,
Okay, next joke.
poor Chris.
Next joke. Yeah, good setup, Eric. Jenny A with that shotgun is one badass bitch.
Yeah.
She really is. Okay.
You ever use one of those? No.
Okay, it's a pretty shitty villain when all you have to do is throw shoes at it to defeat it.
Yep.
Okay, Leprechaun roller skates? Whatever.
Yeah. Magic roller skates.
Leprechaun shape, in the fence.
That
That's
totally
cool.
came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, this is the last of
He
my...
should have been on a skateboard. It would have been a good Back to the Future reference. They really missed a golden opportunity there. That's all I'm saying.
This
Yeah,
is
really.
the last of my non sequitur, like out of left field. Drunk Eric is making drunk jokes. What kind of absurd level of hubris does it take to give yourself the middle name Cougar? Fuck John Mellencamp.
Oh, gotcha. I was like, what?
Apropos of nothing. Fuck John Mellencamp.
Right,
So basically, in summary of my review, fuck John Mellencamp.
Wow.
Wow. And P.S. This sentence takes up the entire page because I was smashed when I wrote it. Wow, that was really bad. Fuck your chains, because they chain up the leprechaun at the end. That's it. I like you guys talking about the movie. I can kind of barely remember the things that happened, but I didn't remember that there was a cop. I kind of remember her going and looking up some book. Does she go look at a book at some point?
The coin guy looks at a book.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe that's it.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, because he looks a lot like Jenny.
So Eric has systematically replaced everybody in this movie with Jennifer Aniston.
This is a movie where Jennifer Aniston stalks Jennifer Aniston for Jennifer Aniston's gold.
And then has a crush on Jennifer Aniston.
Nobody has anything to say about Death by Pogo yet.
Really?
Oh my God.
I guess I was going to say something about that.
Okay.
So,
Well, Eric, are you?
Oh my God.
Are you settled?
I'm way done. I shouldn't even have gone.
there was some good in there, dude. There was some real good in there.
Hold on, I got a pun for Pogo.
Okay.
Okay, he kills a dude with a pogo stick, right? So you could say he
Yep.
sticks it to him. You're welcome. Go ahead, James.
That's bad. All right, so Leprechaun. I didn't write any notes for this or anything like that.
Way to be prepared.
Yeah, no, I'm totally not prepared. I looked up some trivia, hoping to find that, in awful movies like this, it's always kind of hilarious to find that, and they were making this horrible movie, and Warwick Davis had some sort of faulty thing, and he almost died when this happened, and this effect went wrong. Unfortunately, there was nothing like that, so that was kind of a shame. But what I did find,
It's kind of a shame that nobody almost died on the movie set.
I mean, because that would have been that joke
However,
alone,
there
that
is
little tidbit would have been
9
interesting.
pages of character information on there's a wiki for the Leprechaun character.
What?
And there's like 9 pages worth of information detailing his weaknesses, his powers, given per each of the films.
Huh.
I read it.
Really?
Oh.
I was really
the
trying to
trivia
figure,
page on
because like,
IMDb.
okay, about halfway through the movie, I'm like, how do you kill a leprechaun?
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Like when they're running around, they're trying to talk to Mr. O'Grady.
Well, I'm like, how to kill a leprechaun? Then I'm like, how to get a leprechaun's gold? You gotta catch him.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when they were running around the old folks' home, I was like, you're right. There's no exposition on how she found out where the old folks' home was. Yet, they felt the need to show that she stole the list of room numbers from the sleeping guard so that she could find out where the old guy was, because if she didn't do that, that wouldn't have been believable.
Right. The list of room numbers, handily labeled room numbers
Yep.
on it. Ugh.
And the fact that we were like staring at her butt the entire time and those
There's so much butt in this movie.
Yeah, there's like this movie could have been called Butts,
It's like it's just her butt and Warwick Davis's butt over and over and over again.
Now I understand why my review is so Jenny A centric.
Yeah. And over half the movie she's wearing these ridiculous shorts, like these patchwork shorts.
Oh yeah.
They're just
they're Fresh Prince of Bel-Air
Oh my
shorts.
God,
There's
they totally
no
are.
two ways about that.
Nice.
So I don't know about
remember
you
that.
guys, but when I
They're
need to know
short,
something,
high top shorts.
you know, they were awful.
Yep.
When I need to know something important, I ask a stroke victim in the middle of the night.
Who actually spoke? Who actually spoke incredibly clearly, even with his Irish accent.
Well, it's
Yeah.
it's with like the 90s. It's like any malady. It doesn't matter if you have any accuracy about what it was actually like. You can just say, "Oh, he had a stroke," which means he like it's just like a heart attack. You know, and
Which is what I thought he had.
Yeah, and she
honestly,
found him,
in the
and he
beginning.
was like, "I call them grabbers." And
Yep.
Robbers.
Oh Jesus!
nice reference to the last podcast.
He's all
Stroke
like,
victims. All right, let's go.
"Don't exert yourself, or you'll have a stroke." I'm like, "Don't you mean a heart attack, Warwick?" Like, oh well, whatever.
Yeah, that's why he grabbed his heart.
Yeah.
When you're having a stroke, that's what you do.
It's like they didn't know what a stroke was. They just thought it was the same thing. Ugh, this fucking movie.
Certainly wasn't.
Now, see,
hold on.
See, real good acting would have been like, "Oh, you might have a stroke," and he's like, "I am not having a hubble bubble dooba bubble bubble stroke."
Oh my God.
But you could say you
Really? Is that
Stroke joke.
James. You could say that for the leprechaun, it was a stroke of luck.
Oh God!
You guys laughed him off the hook.
I kind of feel like watching this movie. I did have a stroke because I think part of my brain died during it. Like,
I know part of my brain died.
Oh my
And
God!
part of your liver.
All right, so all
So
that's
was that your
cut
review,
out.
James?
No, all that's cut. Obviously.
No, that's
No, that's staying in. That's good stuff.
Yeah, I was talking.
Oh God!
lucky that's not the cold open.
oh man,
Well, I'm turning this shit off. So,
We are fucked if our audience can't take a stroke joke.
Stroke jokes.
Yep.
the tidbit on IMDb I found is actually that this movie was supposed to be a kids movie at first,
What?
Oh, God.
and then they were like, "Let's make it a adult horror movie instead."
Except they misaligned horror with horrible.
Yep.
Okay.
And so pretty much like all they did was reshoot some more gore scenes, and that was like apparently it. So
So
yeah.
like the Lenny and George now like makes sense.
yeah,
If,
Yeah,
if,
they
it,
make
if
a
it's
lot
a
of
kids
sense.
movie, that Lenny and George makes sense.
Okay, and
Well,
about
Lenny
that,
and George.
the kid and the
The kid in the
Ozzy.
halfwit.
Ozzy, okay.
the Dave Thomas lookalike,
Yeah, all right.
who I swear
I
I've
thought
seen
it
in
was-
other movies.
I thought it was Andy Richter at first. I was like, holy shit.
Well, yeah, he's been in other movies.
Always B movies. Though,
He's
like-
he's in Pee Wee's Big Adventure. He plays the neighbor kid.
Yeah.
Oh! Yeah, about that. Okay, so they find the gold coins, and the kid's like, "You can get an operation for your brain." And then Jennifer Aniston later on is like talking to the kid and is like, they can't fix that with an operation. The kid's like, I know, but he didn't know that.
Right.
Like, kid, what the fuck is your end game here?
What are you thinking?
Like,
I was giving him hope before he died a miserable life.
I mean, how long can you carry that ruse on? I mean,
I don't know, James. How long have we?
Oh,
Hold on.
whoa, shots fired.
I'm sorry. That was a cheap shot.
one of these days I'll get my operation.
Oh, God.
Welcome to
that's
New
a
Year's
brain
Rocket
implant.
Eve.
You know what I love, though? It's so much more apparent how much more entertained we are than both of you two are.
I know.
Ugh.
Okay, honestly, like, okay, Warwick Davis. Now, okay, I've already gone off the deep end, so I might as well just say it. Like, am I alone in this? Maybe it's different now, but he is not a good actor. Like,
Yeah, it doesn't, it really
definitely
doesn't
not,
seem like
not in Willow. He wasn't in this. He wasn't.
Well, his main shtick is being a short guy.
Yeah.
Well, I recall he's not very good in Willow, actually. Like,
No, that's what I'm saying. He wasn't a good
might
actor in Willow.
It's a strange thing to say, but I thought he was better in this movie. I thought Warwick Davis was acting harder in this movie, even though it's a terrible movie. Like, this was better work on Warwick Davis's part than Willow.
Probably thinking at the time he was the only one that could save it.
That's what I think. I think that he was like, I have got to make this good.
Honestly, the impression that I get was that, like, everybody pretty much involved in the movie knew it was shit, except, I mean, Warwick Davis even also knew it was shit, but he was having so much fun playing the role.
Yeah.
I believe that one, because,
Because honestly,
he
like,
gets to be something other than a little guy that's getting kicked around.
That's true.
Well, I've seen him on what is it, Extras?
No, he's,
And he's
the
like,
little. It's like it's
the
another
other
Ricky
Ricky
Gervais.
Gervais.
No.
Show.
He's
and
also
he's
been on the
genuinely
extras.
funny on that.
But
The other Ricky Gervais show
talking
that
about
that stars
the World
him
with an idiot or whatever the fuck that is.
No,
Or-
Idiot Abroad is
Idiot
fucking
Abroad
great
is good.
with Warwick Davis in it. Oh my god!
Although almost worse because he's in it because that guy.
Because they keep on setting up Carl Pilkington with the worst shit and giving Warwick like the VIP treatment. It's like the Odd Couple on the road. It's fucking great.
Carl just keeps like oblivious how just
Fucking
horrible.
insensitive and rude he is,
yeah.
like me today with the stroke jokes.
We really don't want to talk about this movie, do we?
That I'm too nice to say out loud.
Hey, what? Do you have somewhere to be? What's going on here?
No, I don't have somewhere to be, but
So I agree.
He's got chips on the brain.
I really agree with James that Idiot Abroad is a great series.
Yeah, you want to see another great thing with Warwick Davis. Yeah, like honestly, I hated this movie, but I loved watching Warwick as the Leprechaun.
Yeah.
Like, it was, I always had fun when he was on the screen. Like, even when he, like, he does his growl, which is like, he does it badly.
Yeah.
Like, he does that bad. But it's so funny to just sort of watch him.
I do love his maniacal laughter is really fun too. He's like,
Yeah, when he runs away, he goes, hi, diddly dee, or diddly dally dee.
it's funny, and like you gotta give him some credit that at least he's entertaining.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Horror comedy done.
Oh no! What?
Yeah, there was,
John, maybe you're right. And
Done right.
there was no horror, but just every part with. I mean, granted, it was a cartoon,
Yeah.
but
it had as much horror as Grabbers.
arguably,
I'd say there was
yes.
more horror
Yeah.
in Grabbers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
marginally so.
What else was I going to say?
You were gonna say fuck Leprechaun.
Fuck leprechauns.
All right,
Or
John, go.
okay. So, James, are you done? Are you done with the Leprechaun? I'm sure.
I think that if I think of anything else, I'll just say
Interrupt
it.
you.
Yeah. Probably chances are you'll ping something in my brain that was. Oh, seriously? Okay, Ozzy, the simpleton. Ozzy, fucking shove your finger in your throat. Like, throw up.
Yeah,
It had
Like-
been kind of a while though.
throw
Well,
up
then
or shit or something.
Take some axe
Yeah.
slacks or some
Yeah.
shit. The leprechaun doesn't care if he has to dig through shit.
Right,
And
he
like,
doesn't care.
Yeah, he probably doesn't, considering he's willing to like gut Ozzy to get it.
And apparently the way you curse a leprechaun is by shooting a 4-leaf clover into his throat and then lighting him on fire with gasoline. That constitutes a curse somehow.
Hey, if anybody did that to me, I would feel cursed.
And then
Fair.
punch them in the
Fair.
fucking face.
Here's John's official line on this. I am so sorry.
Right.
Anybody who listened to last week and came into this and realized or thought that this would be a good movie. When I posted the trailer for it on Sunday, I was like, well, let's give this trailer a little watch here. And I'm watching that, and I was like, oh god, this looks awful. Oh god, this doesn't look anything like I remember. Oh god, I said this was good. This is not good. This is not a good movie. This is not even a good horror movie. This is a terrible, terrible, terrible movie. It is not the worst movie I've ever seen, but right now I'm having a very hard time thinking of what that could possibly be.
Like, Leprechaun is on a level of bad with like Star Wars Holiday Special. Like it's
Oh no. Star Wars Holiday Special is actually worse than this.
Marginally.
It's all right.
There was nothing redeeming about Star Wars Holiday Special.
Yeah.
This at least had Warwick Davis getting to act a little fun.
Yes, that's true. But this is probably 1 degree away from Star Wars Holiday Special. By the way, those of you listening at home, this happens every time that Colin talks about the Star Wars Holiday Special. Again, we're not talking about Leprechaun for a minute. Don't watch it. Don't do it. Do not. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, I've got to see it if it's that bad. No, you don't. You don't. You're fine. You're good. You're a better person for not having seen it. Don't make the mistake that I and everyone I've ever mentioned this dog of a thing to has made. Do not go and see what it's like. It is so bad.
All right, so John, we've done enough hijacking.
So Star Wars is back to Leprechaun. Also starring Warwick.
I was pretty much done because for the most part, I mean, really honestly, what more can you say about this except it's just a shitty movie.
Another bit of trivia is that Lucky Charms actually gave them permission to use their cereal in the movie until they saw the movie.
That's funny.
Yep.
Hey everyone, if you've ever wanted John Hates Movies to review your movie choice, all you have to do to get in on the action is go to our Facebook page, John Hates Movies, post your movie review suggestion, as well as the member that you want to play this week's game for you. If that member is selected as the winner, we'll be watching your movie suggestion. Thanks a bunch, folks, and keep on listening to John Hates Movies. Alright, so it is time for the game, and before we get started, I want to say we have a very special treat for you today. Yep. We have
Sugar cookies?
No. We have had 3 people suggest movie reviews for Spooktober.
Nice.
Yeah. So, the 3 people who were chosen to play was Colin, James, and Chris. Not me. No one really has any faith.
My middle name is James, so I thought you were calling me out like I was in trouble.
Colin James McMillan.
Now, see, I thought he was calling me.
Oh, these people are calling James. Hello, James, are you home?
Good joke.
Ho, ho, ho.
Can I just bask in that joke for a while?
Sure.
That's a good goof.
Okay, can we get on?
For a good
So, let's just start from the top. Douglas Hip, who prefers to be called Doug.
I'm going to call him Dougie Fresh.
Ooh.
What's up, Dougie Fresh?
What up, Doug?
Well, Doug has chosen Colin to play for him.
It is an honor.
Yeah.
And I'm glad because I couldn't think of a movie that I wanted to suggest. So. Good looking out, Doug.
All right, so next we have
Doug?
Millyanne Combs. Millyanne Combs has chosen James to play for her.
I wonder...
Who could this person be?
Yeah, I feel like I'm familiar with that name.
Yes.
Somehow.
She's a millionaire.
For those of you who don't know...
John, how do you know Millie?
Millie and I have been in a relationship for over 9 years now, something along those lines. And
she picked
I don't know. She doesn't listen to the
James.
podcast, so.
Right.
Yeah, she picked James, not
and she
John.
she picked my brother. That's how much faith
She picked
she
a winner.
has in my ability to win the game. Okay, and
I'm feeling the pressure now.
Last but definitely not least, John Dufort. I hope I'm pronouncing your last name right.
Yep, you got it right.
Alrighty, and he has picked
Chris.
This is one of Chris's male fans.
Yes.
This is one of my male fans.
One of Chris's
My
numerous
many
male fans.
Yes.
Don't get jealous, guys.
We're not. I'm not.
But hey, John.
So he's picked Chris to bring home the bacon for him.
We got this, Doug. You and me, buddy.
Do it, Doug!
All right. So yes. So Eric, I believe you have a game for us this time around.
Yeah, I do. So everybody knows in horror movies, it's not often that you're like Jamie Lee Curtis and you're all by yourself and you're alone trying to get away from the monster. Like a lot of times, you're part of like a horror movie survival team.
It's almost as if you have a kid, a slightly mentally deficient dude, a pretty boy, and a pretty girl.
Oh. Well, here is what I came up with for like what a decent little horror movie survival team would look like. You know, because you're the person in the horror movie that needs to survive. Your love interest. You've got to have a love interest in the horror movie. Maybe it's the Stamos Light that was Jennifer Aniston's love interest. You need a badass that like takes shit down. You need the guy or girl or kid or somebody who's the first one to die in the movie.
Wow.
And then you need the bad guy's plant or spy, like the guy that's kind of working with the bad guy.
Or through his own ineptness manages to like screw everything for everybody.
Yeah, he's the guy that
the foil
that everybody's like, why the fuck is he on the team? Why we just need to get rid of him. And these people that you can pick can be actors, they can be fictional characters, they can be real people, or they can be like Alf.
You took mine.
Oh damn! I didn't know that was an option.
Man.
So anyone that picks Alf as the love interest wins.
Done.
Okay, so as an example, I'm just going to give my like off the cuff, dumb, would not win this game list. So in my team survival horror movie with me, obviously, my love interest is my girl, Scarlett Johansson.
Oh God!
I mean, come on.
All right.
Hey, this is a fantasy situation.
Okay.
And that's my fantasy situation. The badass is Mike Tyson from Punch Out. Not the real Mike Tyson. Not the real Mike Tyson, the guy from Punch Out that just knocks your shit out.
Oh man.
The first to die is James.
Oh.
Damn it.
And the bad guy, like foil or the plant, the guy that we don't want in our crew is going to be Skeletor.
Oh, okay. This changes everything if we're playing by these rules.
Okay,
I was picking
these are the rules.
I was
You can do
picking
whatever
movie
you want.
stars.
okay. So who?
Oh no! I
movie stars or
said
characters.
actors, characters, real people, or Alf.
Oh,
Whichever
right.
one.
Of course. I got too serious.
Yeah, you can come up with anything.
Okay, so I want to go.
All right, Johnny.
Okay, so my love interest is 1960s era Julie Newmar.
Ah,
Yep.
nice.
Yeah. My badass.
Unfortunately, I'm sorry, I don't know who that is.
Catwoman.
That's
the non-Eartha Kitt Catwoman.
See,
My badass would be Burn Notice Bruce Campbell.
nice.
Yep.
Ah.
I've been rewatching Burn Notice like for the past week.
Yeah, I don't want Ash. I want Burn
And
Notice
I
Bruce
almost chose Gabrielle Anwar. Plays Fiona. Yeah.
Campbell.
All right, I'm liking this so far.
Yeah.
Johnny.
Okay, my guy working for the bad guy secretly, French Stewart. Just because
that makes so much
that guy
sense. Yeah.
never got his, and he needs to get his.
Wow.
And the first to die is Grover.
Oh,
Because
man.
that way you know it's serious business.
You know it's fucking serious.
Yep, you know it's serious
They
business.
killed Grover.
Covered in puppet blood.
Nice.
That's Muppet blood, sir.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay.
I like it. I'm gonna name that team. No, I'm not.
I'm gonna name that team Stroke Victims.
Oh.
The puppet
Okay,
master.
I got one. I got one for real now.
Okay.
Okay, so horror movie survival team starring
Yes.
starring me,
Mhm.
Colin McMillan. Love interest is my girl, Christina Ricci. Don't judge me, please.
A lot like Jennifer Aniston, Christina Ricci's only gotten better.
Oh, I know. You know, and she's totally age appropriate. You know?
Yes.
Like, you know, I could go out with Christina Ricci or someone her age. First to die.
Christina Ricci, if you're listening.
So,
what up, girl?
What up? Hey.
Hey, you know, I'm sure Doug does not appreciate you using his time to hit on Christina
What up?
Ricci.
Sorry.
What up, Bay?
Hey, Bay. Hey, Bay. Hey, Boo. Okay, so Sam Rockwell is the first to die.
Yeah, okay, all right, I like
okay
that.
The badass is a Koopa paratrooper.
Okay.
And the foil...
Not really a badass.
You haven't seen this movie, son.
Okay.
It's totally, like, out of the box for him. They totally broke typecast for him. I mean, it's really, like, is his breakout role. But and my foil is a Bobo.
Okay.
A Bobo.
What? I don't.
A Bobo's
I
from
don't get
From Double Dragon. He's the big beefy
okay.
dude.
Yep.
Who breaks the wall.
Yep.
A Bobo is my foil.
Wow.
And my team is called the Unlikelies.
Okay.
Sorry, Doug.
I never win anyway.
Colin, I wanted you to win, but
Okay.
Why'd you make it so hard? You know, you've had the
This is-
opportunity to make me win
If
before,
this
Eric.
is the way we're playing it, I'm going to give my team name first, and it's Damn It, I Tried. Starring
You're
me,
telling me
Chris
there's a
Arsenault,
chance.
with my love interest, Jane Levy, who plays Mia in the new Evil Dead. Think about it. She's redhead, she's hot, and she knows how to deal with the dead. Although, that did kind of allude that she might be evil at the end. Anyway, my badass
spoilers, okay.
is the Terminator.
Okay.
For obvious reasons.
Right, yeah, because he's a badass.
Terminator
Right.
2 Terminator, right?
Terminator 2 is Terminator.
Yeah.
The foil, as it were, is going to be Kaiser Soze.
Ooh.
We'll never see it coming.
Okay.
And the first to die is, in fact, James.
What the fuck?
I thought about some good old pandering and
James,
just
are you the first to die in yours too?
I thought about pandering and just making Eric my love interest, but I thought that would be too much.
Oh, James, am I your love interest?
Hold on.
So I know James is really bad with like actors and that kind of stuff. So I'm really curious to see what you came up with.
Oh my
It's going to be
god.
that one guy that was in that film I watched
James is like
last
thinking
week.
right now. He still
No,
doesn't
no.
have it.
See, here's what sucked is that somebody said something and I was like,
Oh, struck a chord?
yeah, and then I lost it. Cause see, John, you stole my badass.
Oh, Bruce Campbell. Burn Notice Bruce Campbell?
No, my badass was going to be Super Grover.
Oh!
But he died.
But he died.
He's already dead. I'm sorry, man.
Okay, I gotta think of
That'd be a
God,
pretty
because
good
that's what I thought of
badass.
as a new badass, and fuck. God damn it! I knew I should have wrote a little something down.
James, is your love interest Amanda Bynes?
Good call, yo.
It's just crazy.
No, so my badass is going to be the pirate Blackjack Savage
All right.
Okay.
from the 99 Lives of Blackjack Savage.
Okay.
I'm going very obscure here because I love my brother, and me. Just-
You really want Millie to be disappointed?
Millie's shaking her head.
Go ahead.
Never mind, it's Super Grover.
Taking it back.
All right, so the first person to die, I wrote Stone Cold Steve Austin, but then I was like, you know what would be more appropriate is the Ultimate Warrior.
Ooh.
Load the spaceship with the rocket fuel. I walk out upon the bones of the ones that came before. My foil is Zoidberg,
Ooh.
That's a good one. That's a solid one.
and my love interest is going to be Theodore Rex. Don't judge my love between a man and a gay dinosaur.
Wow, guys, you really came up with some good stuff here.
No, they didn't. I did.
Nobody said their love interest was Alf.
No.
No, and that was
which
an
is a big
automatic.
we just
problem.
didn't
Well,
want
after
to
you
pander.
gave it out, we couldn't do it.
I'm really disappointed in that.
My love interest was Alf.
John, you don't have to pander. You're in first place
Yeah!
already.
Oh,
John won.
Damn it!
No, that's fair. John won.
Yeah, John won.
wait. We do a special thing where we take the people who throw in their suggestions, and the only person who isn't playing for someone else won.
Well, you know,
What does that
This
say to our
podcast is
audience?
bullshit.
look,
Rigged.
Doug,
I knew I did.
listeners,
Doug, Millie, and John, I am terribly sorry that
Yeah,
none of
mix
your
up
picks
the movies that they
You're
suggested.
just punishing Millie.
won. None of your picks won. So I guess what that
Because-
says
And
is that
none of your
maybe
picks
you
won
all
because
should have
we all
picked
suck
me.
and John is awesome.
Yeah, pick Eric or John next time because we're the ones that actually win these things.
Yeah.
Actually, don't pick John because he can't really win his own game.
Doug, Millie, and John, if you want to resubmit your movies for next week, just go ahead and post on the Facebook page, saying that you're going to just resubmit the same choice. For those of you at home who are interested in what the choices would have been had any of these three been lucky enough to pick a winner like myself, Doug Hip wanted us to watch The Keep, based on the Stephen King novella, I believe, of the same name, starring Gabriel Byrne. I'm not sure if this was a made-for-TV or if it was just during Stephen King's period when he was doing really, really bad horror movies like Sleepwalkers.
It was from 78, so it was probably...
Was it 78?
Terrible, yeah.
Wow.
God, yeah, okay. So, yeah, probably just terrible, terrible. Amelia Combs, who picked James, she wanted us to do Hellraiser. Excellent choice. I would have loved to have done that.
I think that would have been what James would have picked if Millie didn't pick for him.
The funny thing was that I was actually thinking maybe I should choose something different. And then
Well, if she submits for somebody else next week, you'll get to choose something different. Otherwise, you'll have to play for her again.
By
I know how much you love it. She even wrote, "I would like the ever gracious James." So you've already got rep.
Too bad she didn't say the lucky James.
And John DeFort, bless his heart, wanted us to watch Children of the Corn, another Stephen King.
I've never seen that. I haven't seen any of these movies. I haven't seen any movies.
Yeah. Children of the Corn.
John hates moving, broadening his horizons.
I like Children of the Corn.
Yeah, Children of the Corn has its ups and downs. I'll definitely say that.
Yeah, it's very dated.
But he does, he does believe that we could have some very comical things to say about it. So those were the three choices that they would have chose. Chances are they may very well submit it next week.
But that shouldn't discourage you from submitting your pick. So
Yeah,
absolutely
please follow
not.
us at
In
John
fact,
Hates Movies.
we have 4 slots.
So many slots, you don't know where to begin.
Exactly. But we only have one other review for Spooktober. So the sooner you get it in, the better chance you have of getting your movie review picked for the final Spooktober review.
The whole thing's rigged anyway.
Collusion!
it's rigged.
No, there is
This
no
bullshit.
collusion. There is no
I
secret.
fucking knew it.
There is no secret
We're
conspiracy.
friend for 25 years. James is your brother. Good God. The hell is this? Just because Eric's got a voice like honey and you choose him over us? This is some bullshit.
It's the only way we'll win.
Colin,
Eric, it's the only way we'll win.
Okay.
Sweep the leg.
So would you guys like to know what movie we're watching next week?
yes. I very much want to know what movie we're watching, Johnny, because this is your opportunity to give us some horror.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Well, shit.
Although this is also an opportunity that means you got to be right on your choice.
Yeah.
And we get to light you up next week.
like we didn't just spend an hour and a half doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be a repeat.
The pressure is on. I'm actually
John
picking.
hates movies. To be continued.
I'm actually picking a movie I haven't seen.
Okay.
Okay.
Only
Dun, dun,
because
dun.
I searched through.
That way you can't be wrong.
That is
Absolutely
it's true.
correct.
You can't be wrong.
Safe choice. Safe choice.
But I have systematically gone through and picked one of the highest horror rated movies on Netflix that I have not seen, and that's The Awakening.
I might have seen it, but I cannot remember.
I have never seen it.
I don't think I have either.
I haven't seen it.
What's
I
the
honestly
premise?
thought you were going to say "You're next"
No,
because that one's actually very high rated as well.
yeah, it is, but that one it didn't really grab me.
Oh boy.
Oh man,
That's interesting.
Is this going to be actually scary?
I wish
I have to hold
most
somebody's
likely.
hand while I watch
It might
this?
very well need some.
I wish I
hand-holding.
could watch it tonight.
Oh boy.
Oh
The
man,
orphanage.
I'm not good with actual horror.
You can listen to our podcast on iTunes, the Stitcher app, or directly on our website. Feel free to send us a movie review suggestion. You'll have an equal chance of getting chosen for next week's movie review. You can reach us through social media, either by liking our Facebook page, John Hates Movies, or following our Twitter at John Hates Movies. Our music was composed by Kevin MacLeod. You can find this track and many more on his website, incompetech.com. Thanks for listening, and tune in next week to hear someone say...
You're really doubling down on this, aren't you? You're just going hard on the stroke jokes.